Interview.
Hello everyone, this is Maxwell McGee here at Blizzard HQ. I'm talking with Jason Bender, one of the many fine senior game designers on Diablo 3. Jason, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Where is your team at right now in the development of Diablo 3?
Well, we are finishing up a number of game systems, and we're coming up on a public beta here. So we are trying to get everything ready so we can show it to the public.
So I wanted to ask about the trait system and how it differs now than it did in Diablo 2.
So we've done quite a bit to the skills. So one thing we wanted to avoid right off the bat is point hoarding. In Diablo 2, you might have recalled that you would want to keep a point handy so that when you reach that magic level, you can spread it across several skills or what have you. So now you can pick your skills more freely. You can rearrange them largely at will, but they do unlock as you advance in level, so you get new skills as you advance. Additionally, of course, you can put a rune in a skill, and depending on which rune effect you get, the skill can be either a more intense version of the base skill or a drastically different effect.
Now with the runes, could you perhaps give us some examples of specifically what they would do?
One of my favorites, the Witch Doctor has just the craziest stuff, so I like to use the Witch Doctor.
He's also the craziest looking, so...
He's a little out there. And so the Witch Doctor has a blowgun that shoots darts, right? So if you put a particular rune in it, it could shoot a more poisonous dart that does more damage. You might get one that kind of makes it a machine gun. It's a rapid fire dart gun. But my favorite is one that turns it into a snake launcher. So you shoot a snake, it sticks to the creature's face and kind of wiggles around and stuns him. That never gets old.
Now when can players expect to start earning some of these runes?
So the runes appear in normal difficulty, but not right at the beginning of the game. So what happens is we first let you get kind of used to your skills. You get to explore some new things, get comfortable with what you have. And then as you advance through the game, relatively early in the experience, you'll start to discover these runes, and you can apply them to any skill that you think is good. And if you roll an effect you like on that skill, you can keep it in there and do either more damage or split your magic missiles into two or gain an area effect. They do all kinds of things.
The trait system has also been reworked into these sort of passive skills. Can you tell us more about why you guys decided to make that change?
For a while we had a number of traits, but we felt that it didn't really have a lot of impact because if you spread it too thin, no one passive really stands out. So what we decided we like is each passive to have a very special flavor. So when you get one, it really changes the way you play. Let's say you want to play a barbarian who uses a two-hander and rushes into combat, but gets health back for hurting enemies. We wanted to put a passive in there that would be the kind of thing that's like, oh, this guy's bloodthirsty. The more blood that's spilled around him, the stronger he gets. If that's how you want to be, that role-playing idea, we want to reinforce that with gameplay. So keeping a few focused passives allows us to get a lot of flavor and impact out of each one.
Now with so many different like active skills and passive skills, will there be a way for you to perhaps save like a certain build of a character that you could quickly call up while in the game? Like if I want to have like a healing focused a setup or a damage focused setup and I want to be able to switch quickly between those two, is there a system in place for that?
So there's not a specific like build switch where you could change all of them, but it's so easy to switch out each individual skill on the fly that it really isn't necessary. Also, what this allows you to do is experiment more with your runes, so you can kind of buy into the build that you're trying. But if you feel like it's not working out for you, take your runes out, switch some things around, get back into combat. It's super easy to change your skills when you need to.
Now Jason, could you go ahead and break down how item crafting is going to work in Diablo 3?
Sure. So when you find a magical item in Diablo 3, you might decide that it's the right thing and you might equip it. But if you don't like it, you can always break it down and take those components and keep them handy for crafting. So crafting allows you to build really powerful objects, but they take a lot of materials. So when you're looking at your overall set of equipment and weapons, you might say, man, I haven't found any good boots in a while. I want some magic find boots. And you look at your crafting recipes, and you say, hey, there's some boots that are going to work for me. I'm going to work towards getting the materials to build them. So you break down enough magic items and find components in the world, and you can craft those boots. Of course, you can't craft everything you see all the time unless you have the components. So you have to decide where you want to spend that resource.
So Jason, is Diablo 3 going to have the same online connectivity requirement that StarCraft 2 had?
So you will have to be online to play Diablo, but what we've learned from StarCraft 2 is that Battle.net has a bunch of features that we want to make available. So for example, you can chat with your friends across games, you can easily find people to jump into your game. The great thing about Diablo is that it plays so well cooperatively. So we want to really make it easy to get cooperative games going. So you can do things like, say, hey, my game is open to all my friends, just jump in whenever you get online. So that means that you can play solo, and after a while, one of your friends will jump in and be like, "Okay, I'm done with dinner. Let's play," or what have you. So leveraging those features is a big deal. Also, of course, we link it into the auction house and stats and achievements. There's a huge myriad of things, a lot of them out of StarCraft, and WoW that we want to integrate. So being online is a huge advantage.
All right, and finally, is there anything you can tell us about a possible release date?
Alas, no, but we are doing our best to get it into the hands of the public. We want to hear what you guys have to say, so we can make it even better.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And there you have it, folks, a look at the technical side of Diablo 3.